We're back on the Anderson-Healey Show from the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network. Along with Arizona State Athletic Director Ray Anderson, I'm Tim Healey, the radio play-by-play broadcaster for Sun Devil Athletics, and Ray and I are glad you're with us this week. We are a little less than 1 month away from the start of the collegiate wrestling season, a season in which the Arizona State Sun Devils will be seeking a 4th consecutive top 10 national finish and 5th in the last 7 years. And here with us today to preview his 23-24 Sun Devil squad is the gentleman who's about to begin his 10th year as the head coach at his alma mater, a 3-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year. He has coached 29 All-American wrestlers here at Arizona State. He himself was a former Pac-10 champion and All-American at ASU, wrestling here in the late 1980s, and competed on the Sun Devils national championship team coached by Bobby Douglas back in 1988. Always a pleasure to talk wrestling with Coach Zeke Jones. How have you been, partner? Good
I've been fantastic. That's quite an introduction. Thank you.
Well deserved.
It's been a fun 10 years.
Yeah.
But fun 30 years.
There you go. Yes, indeed. And yes, indeed. And I want to start by, how do you reflect back on last year? 7th place national finish. You had 4 All-Americans, 3 Pac-12 champions, 2 different wrestlers named Pac-12 Wrestler of the Year by different platforms, all while dealing with injury issues. That sounds to me like a pretty good season. How do you reflect back on it?
Yeah, you know, it's we came out of it unscathed in the end. It was a tough year, a couple tough, difficult injuries, losing a 3-time All-American Ja'Cory Teamer to the start of the season and still having a top 10 finish. We felt really good about it.
No question. That's your overview of your group that you bring back this year. It's a group that's led by 2 returning Pac-12 champions, your 149-pounder and Kyle Parco, and of course the heavyweight Colton Schultz, just a tremendous wrestler who won it all at the heavyweight division last year.
Yeah, we're in a great spot. You know, of course, we're excited about winning that last Pac-12 championship. Guys like Kyle, Colton, Ja'Cory coming back, Kyle Parco, right, a 3-time All-American in his own right, in multiple-time conference champion. I think we're in a great position to continue the success we've had over the last half a decade.
Kyle Parco, let's talk about him for a minute. What a great addition to your program, coming over from Fresno State. What are his best characteristics as a wrestler?
Well, one is he's a student of the sport and he's mentally tough. I'll give you 2, right, where he really just... he comes to work every day with an intensity that few people can match. He loves the sport. He's extremely dedicated and studies his craft at a really just detailed level. And, you know, he's a great leader. The guys love him. You know, he's got a really kind heart. He's really grateful. We put a lot of time into just being thankful for our opportunity, and that's propelled, I think, Kyle to make big jumps. And, you know, being preseason top 2, 3 in the country, you know, he's going to vie for a national championship.
So too will your heavyweight Colton Schultz, who, to me, he's one of those athletes, Zeke, a lot of hype when he came in here as a highly touted recruit, and he's one of those kids that's been able to live up to the hype. Talk about him and his path at Arizona State.
Yeah, Colton, you know, the #1 recruit in America out of high school, and came to Arizona State with a lot of regard and has really lived up to all of it. You know, he's going to be in the hunt for a national title again, ranked in the top 3 in the country, just wrestled for the United States in the World Championships, and will be a favorite to make the U.S. Olympic team as we head into the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. And, you know, he wants it all. You know, he wants to win a national title. He wants to win an Olympic gold medal. And I think, you know, that's why I chose Arizona State. We have a long history and tradition of not only seeing guys on top of the NCAA podium, but of course, guys that want to be the best in the world.
I was going to say, when you have a guy like him, and you have a lot of wrestlers in your room like this, talented, but also that motivation and that drive, that's a pretty tough combination to beat.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, when you have the drive of, you know, an Olympic champion at 19, 20 years old, the maturity too, right, and the understanding what it takes to get there. It's guys like Colton Schultz and Parco Teamer and are just leading the way.
Ja'Cory Teamer, we're going to visit with him in the next segment of our show this week, and to me, it's almost like you're a pro team and you just went out and signed a big-time free agent to get a 157-pounder of his skill, 3-time Pac-12 champion, 3-time All-American, sat out all last year due to injury. What does it mean to your program to get him back this year?
Well, he's a tremendous leader, right? I mean, he's been there, has done that at the highest level. He too has goals of not just being the best in the country, but being the best in the world. And he's excited. He's chomping at the bit. He hasn't been out there in a long time. And so I know he's super excited about competing and just helping his team, get in contention to win a conference championship and a national title.
Great to have Jacory back. And again, he'll be our guest in the next segment of this week's show. I wanted to talk for a minute about a young man who made the Amateur Wrestling News All-Rookie team last year, your 125-pounder, Richard Figueroa, undefeated last year in 14 matches. What are your hopes for him this year?
Yeah, he's, we were hoping he would be a secret, but he won't be. The whole country's paying attention to him. So he, in the Las Vegas Invitational last year, one of the biggest premier Christmas tournaments in the country, premier tournaments in the country, he beat the NCAA finalist in the finals of the Las Vegas tournament. So he won the Las Vegas tournament, and the kid from Purdue he beat ended up being in the NCAA finals.
Wow.
So now everybody knows who Richard is. He's not going to fly under the radar. He's going to start off with a preseason top 3 ranking in the country and hasn't wrestled in a conference or NCAA tournament yet, and that's pretty rare.
Yeah. Boy, the Valencia family has been kind to the Arizona State wrestling program. You've had great ones in Zahid and Anthony, and now you have their younger brother, Cale Valencia, who, like Richard Figueroa, was named to the Amateur Wrestling News All-Rookie team last year.
Yeah, Kyle's really doing a great job. He obviously comes from a tremendous family. To him, I think he wants to forge his own path. He knows his brother's history and tradition. I think he's really excited about making his own mark in the Sun Devil program. But as you know, we'll always lump all of them together because they're a fantastic family. So he just came away with a world bronze medal this summer. Anthony represented for the United States, and then Anthony represented Mexico in the World Championships.
Wow.
And both are in position to make an Olympic team next year too. So, Kyle, Anthony, and Zahid are the first family of Sun Devil wrestling right now.
That's for sure. You said to me before we started taping, you have a good group of freshmen coming in. Talk about some of the young wrestlers you've brought in that you think have chances to have bright futures.
Sure. You got 2 really good ones that most likely will redshirt. One is Nico Reese, who comes out of the St. John Bosco family in California, which is where the Valencias are from. And the father, Ruben Valencia, is the coach there. Nico Reese won everything in high school you could win, and he's about 165, 174 pounder. And we're excited about getting him out there. And then we have another one, which the last name everybody knows here in the Arizona family, another family of wrestling, Caleb Larkin, from the famed Larkin family. Eric Larkin, NCAA champion and Heisman Trophy winner. The Hodge Award really needs no introduction. Caleb is a freshman, and man, he's really good. He's projecting at 149, 157, so the future is really, really bright.
You lose 2 really good ones from a year ago. Brandon Courtney, a 4-time All-American at 125 pounds, a second and third place national finish on his resume during his ASU career. And then Mikhail McGee, a third place finisher last year at 133 pounds. How do you look back on their Sun Devil careers? Of course, Mikhail was a transfer during his career, but boy, they were 2 terrific Sun Devils. What did they do for you?
Yeah, program? Boy, you can't replace guys like Brandon Courtney and Mikhail McGee. They're multi-time All-Americans, conference champions. Brandon just finished his master's degree, and both are now, just like our others, are transitioning into the pros, right, into the major leagues, where they'll all try to make world and Olympic teams in this next 4 and 5 year cycle. So we're really excited. They're going to stay here and train with us and help the next new Sun Devils like Richard Figueroa. And then really the last one that we need to mention is Julian Klebo, who is going to be wrestling in the University World Championships next week at 133 pounds. And like Richard, we'd like to think would fly under the radar because he wrestled behind McGee. But he doesn't, everybody knows who he is. He just won a tournament with 125 wrestlers to make the world team at 61 kilos, and will be wrestling in what country? Albania. I got to make sure I had that one. We were just in Serbia, so I was going to mix it up. In Albania, and I'm actually leaving here soon, and so is Julian.
Wow, that's awesome.
Couple days.
That's awesome. You just released your season schedule not long ago. Zeke, interesting. You won't have a match, as I understand, in front of the home folks until early January.
You're right, correct? Second semester. That's right. We'll have our Maroon and Gold on November 3rd, where fans can come out. We'll have a alumni, family, and friends tailgate before our Maroon and Gold match on November 3rd, Friday night. But we won't have a home match against an opponent until second semester.
Some changes to your staff in the offseason?
Nope, same staff. We're excited. We're finally getting some continuity in our staff. And, Eric Thompson, Frank Molinaro, and Lee Pritz are doing a fantastic job. They're the best.
Now, you also have a contract extension through the 26-27 season. That must be satisfying for you to have your work rewarded that way.
Yeah, Ray's been great, President Crow of the university. I truly am a Sun Devil for life, right? 1985, I came here, and ASU has made me into the person I am. My family lives here, my daughters, my grandkids. We just love it here. It's home.
Well, it's so great to have you here, and it sounds to me like you got high hopes to hoist a trophy in Kansas City. What will it take, Zeke, to do that in March?
Yeah, we just need to go out there and do what we normally do. Treat it like a regular match, get excited, have fun, be humble, be grateful for the opportunity, and be excited to put our hands on somebody.
But as you've heard through the course of this interview, he's got some talented wrestlers who are also heavy in motivation, and when you put those two factors together, this could be a special season.
Yeah, this group recruited itself, meaning they all got here, said, hey, let's all go to Arizona State, win a national title. These were kids that won everything in junior high and high school, and who've known each other their entire lives. And now, they said, hey, let's all go to ASU, do it together, and do something special. And so they are excited. They're ready to go.
And so are we. And the Sun Devil Wrestling start of the season less than 1 month away. Zeke, always great to visit with you. Best of luck to you and the team
Thanks,
this year.
I appreciate it, Tim.
That's Sun Devil head coach Zeke Jones joining us here on the Anderson-Healey Show. Coming up, we'll meet one of Zeke's top wrestlers as 157-pounder Ja'Cory Teamer will stop by for a visit. But first, these messages. This is the Anderson-Healey Show from the Sun Devil Radio Network.